What's up, GG Nation? GG Legion again. This is Strauss Man, the GG himself, the host and moderator, and I got Chad back. And
Round 2, baby.
Round 2. Persona 5 spoiler cast. This is our official spoiler cast. Seriously, warning: do not watch this if you have not played the game. Leave right now. We're giving you a chance to leave.
You've been warned.
You've been warned.
You've been warned twice now.
Look how big Chad is compared to me.
I'll hunt you down.
He'll crush you.
And crush your skull.
All right.
Crush it.
So let's get into this, Chad. Spoiler time, story time. Overall, what did you think of the story? We'll get to romance at the end.
All right.
This right now is story time.
All right. Like I stated before in the non-spoiler section, the story grips you right off the get-go. It takes a hold of you, throws you into this dude's shoes, and you're learning about him, his past, and what his life is pretty much going to be like for the next year.
It starts out really rough. The game immediately you are beating the shit out of. Pulp.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
You are beaten to a pulp to the point where you're drugged.
Yeah.
Like you are drugged, you're framed immediately for saving a girl's life.
Which I think that's probably the best way to start the game.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice flashback.
Was to throw you in the middle of it and kind of make you work your way back to it.
Yeah, did you like that? Because you are interrogated by Sai, but then you go right back to it.
Because I had no ideas about what was going to happen, and we had talked about it a couple times. Like as I was playing it, I came up to you and I was like, "Dude, I'm pretty sure this is this person's palace." It's like it kind of seems like it's being set up that way, and that's why you're being interrogated to begin with. But obviously, you don't see it until you actually reach that point.
Yeah.
Even though
I didn't.
There's subtle hints here and there that, yeah, this is going to be a part of the story, but there's nothing concrete. And when you hit that part, and I thought this was the best part of the game, when you hit the part where you catch back up to to your flashback.
Woo!
So you've worked your way back to Sai, and you're being interrogated.
Which is November, I think, right?
It's
November.
It's late in the game. I honestly thought
it was the end.
I was getting close to the end when this was happening.
Yeah.
And
sadly, you were wrong.
No.
Well, you could have.
Not sadly, but
you could have been.
I was happy that it kept going because I wanted more. But the fact that it does that, and I think it's a little risky because you're kind of like throwing it out there, like, yeah, like you're gonna see a little bit of mid game play right here, but you're gonna have no idea why you're gonna be there.
Yeah, to start out the game, that's a brilliant point. But you know what I say? You gotta risk it for the biscuit, right? But no, you're absolutely right. I mean, to start the game out like that, and then you're flashing forward while you're confessing,
and that's probably going to be the hardest.
Brilliant.
That's going to be the hardest sell point to try and get newcomers to come play this game.
Yeah.
But you have to understand this is a standalone thing. It's its own story.
You don't have to play any of the.
You don't have to play the other ones.
He did not play any. This is his first one, and I'm jealous.
But yeah, I told him once you get to that point and you finish that fight, and then it goes through the scene afterwards, which is a good lengthy 25 minutes that you really don't get to play the game itself.
It's the only time that it really does that.
It does it at such a good point in the game to where it's like a nice little break, but at the same time it's needed story to fill everything. To fill in all the cracks and all, to kind of catch you up to what. Oh yeah, you didn't catch this before. We'll rehash.
Before we continue that, what was some of your favorite moments, spoiler wise? Not of like I'll start off. Like some of my favorite moments was probably beating Futaba's palace. Probably beating Futaba's palace.
Finishing her palace and figuring out the story of her mom and the story of the metaverse.
It is
awesome.
It is heartbreaking. It is gripping. It affected her mentally to the point where she is such a social
That is
hermit.
the best boss fight in the entire
Her
game.
confidant Link is perfect for her because she's totally a hermit.
Oh, yeah.
But when you finish that palace, she comes out of her shell a little bit more. The thing I liked about, like, we're not talking romance yet, but the thing I liked about the girls in this game, they are all well dressed. They are all more. They are not.
It's not skimpy.
They're not skimpy, but the only one that is the one that's most introverted, and it's Futaba. She's the one that shows the most skin, and
Yeah, that's barely any. Tell you the truth.
she shows a lot.
It's just legs, truthfully.
She
It's mostly
shows
just
that
legs.
booty. She has the top.
This guy's off topic.
Yeah. Okay. So
He's
we'll go
like,
back.
my favorite spoiler is Futaba's legs.
No, like her palace was amazing, but all the palaces
awesome.
were really good.
The boss fight, her mom being the boss, the giant sphinx.
Let's talk about.
my God,
let's talk about the
it was
first
good.
palace. Let's do this. Let's talk about the first palace.
We
We'll
can
talk
go
about
palace,
each.
we can go palace by palace.
Let's do palace by palace. Let's talk about the first palace, Kamoshida, and let's set the tone for this palace immediately, because
This is the only palace in the game where I felt I really, really wanted to kick this dude's ass.
yeah,
This is the only time where I was like, I'm going to take you down, bro, and I have no bad feelings about this. Like, I want you to suffer.
this is the interesting part too, because the game starts in April, my birthday month, and it's April 15th. I'm like, oh shit, it's my birthday in Persona. It's gonna be a great day.
Nope.
A girl almost commits suicide on that day. That's how dark this game gets.
Your girl's best friend, nonetheless.
Yes, which we'll get to later.
Mini spoiler to
Mini
the spoilers.
spoiler, hint, hint. But, dude, I'm like, what's going on? And it turns into a suicide. It's insane. That's how much
That's
you
the
hate
darkest.
Kamoshida.
But yeah, but that's, to me, that's, and going back to what you were saying about the older games,
That's one of the
to
dark
start
moments.
off with a really touchy subject.
Suicide.
Not just suicide, but I mean, technically,
Abuse.
sexual abuse.
Yep, abuse, yeah.
The whole thing from an adult standpoint to doing this to children or teenagers, and
Definitely kids.
that alone is such a hard topic to talk about, especially here in the United States.
It's very sore spot,
yeah.
sore spot for sure. But it made you really
feel
despise this guy.
Well, yeah, but it also makes you feel for the characters
Yes,
that are
it
in
does.
this game, and it makes you feel for all the other students that are there with you, because everyone in that school is subject to this kind of abuse.
I forgot to mention this in the non-spoiler, but when you go to Kamoshida's palace first, and you summon your persona for the first
the awakening
time,
scene in the first. Oh, this
this is the greatest one.
It's awesome.
The ones in Persona 3 and 4 are really great. They're amazing. It's the only time you hear the protagonist. But this one, wow. And not just his, everybody's awakening scene.
Everyone's.
It is
Every
very
single one of them.
painful. Like, Ryuji is rolling on the floor, pain.
Yeah.
He is hurting so much when he awakens.
His is cool because he doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Yes, he thinks it's a joke.
And he's, as you kind of start to feel, realize he's awakening his power, he's going to be one of your boys. And then he rips off the mask, and you see Captain Kidd for the first time, which probably
It was one of the coolest.
As far as their starters go, the best animated persona in the game, I think. I really like Arson's design. I'm a little disappointed.
By the
that it
way,
doesn't get better.
all the personas and all the personas of the main characters are based on famous thieves.
Yes.
In history, and you can read about it in game with the books, which
They're
are really cool.
They're not all thieves.
They all are.
Even Makoto's?
Yeah. Johanna's a famous thief.
I'm gonna have to go look at all that up.
Because
even Zoro's not really a thief either.
Well, neither is kind of Robin Hood, right? But he's considered,
Yeah, but that's sketchy anyways.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. But let's get to the point why An and Ryuji despise Kamoshida so much. And with Ryuji, Kamoshida...
Ryuji's reason to hate him is awesome.
Kamoshida... Yeah, the reason why Ryuji hates Kamoshida broke his leg and ruined his track.
Jerk.
Ruined his track career to the point where the team had to disband, and they hate him. They despise him. That's a part of his confidant line is, getting over that a little bit, and in a surprising way, because it's mentioned a lot in the early on in the game, not much as later, but he has a hard time running because that's his passion, and he can't do it anymore.
He's got bad knees.
His leg is broken.
It's like Levi.
Yeah, I have one bad. And then Ann's case, she is so different looking compared to everybody else because she's a blonde.
She's the one who's getting sexually abused. Let's just be straight up about it. Since this is a spoiler cast, she's the one who's being sexually abused.
Or
it's
accused.
It's not just her though.
She's being accused of it. She didn't do anything, but she's being accused. She was gonna, but then she kind of
I'm pretty sure she does. I'm pretty sure she even acknowledges the fact that because he's attempted to before.
Well, attempted, but she didn't. The reason
it doesn't matter. An attempt is still sexually abusing.
Oh, for sure. But when she cries out to you, she admits that she's getting pressured by him, and then all these rumors swirl about her that she's a slut and stuff like that. Very much like real life. Rumors flare out. Everyone talks shit about everybody.
Just think about that for a second.
Yeah.
You're a teenage girl,
who looks different because you're half, you're quarter American.
Or you're blonde, you're in a different
blue
country.
Eyes, and everybody's...
And this teacher
on him.
Likes you, and it's obvious to people because he makes it obvious to people.
Yeah, creepily
But no one
obvious.
cares because this teacher is a savior and a saint because
he's a gold medalist.
He's a gold medalist. He's an athlete. He's a celebrity. It's just like how we treat celebrities nowadays. If you're popular, you're above the law to some extent.
Yeah, or you get away from it a little.
Yeah, well, that's why I said you're above the law to an extent. You are. I mean, everybody's. If you get caught, you get caught. But more often than not, if you're a celebrity or whatever, most things just slide by. And that's they do a great job of making it seem like that's exactly how this goes. Like everyone knows this happens, especially like the higher ups in the school and the adults, the principal even.
They all knew it.
They all know it happens, and they just turn a blind eye to it because of how popular this dude is, because he brings in a lot of money to their school.
I mean, he literally hits Mishima right in the face and does not even care. Like full spike.
Not even one of my favorite characters, by the way. But you feel for Mishima because Mishima's dealing with actual physical abuse, not sexual abuse, because obviously Mishima's a guy. And literally, this teacher is beating him up day in, day out in practice. So they call it, oh yeah, he's training us. Well, no, he's abusing you. There's a difference.
And that's what that's the power we have when we go into the palace. We can see the truth. We can see what this entity actually does, this shadow self. And each Persona game deals with like a shadow version of somebody.
Yeah, which I thought was a cool reveal because I didn't know that until you see Anne's like
doppelganger,
her shadow like come up to Kamoshida wearing her bikini and everything. And she's like, "Oh my god, is that really what he looks at me like?" I was like, "Yeah, duh.
And that's all.
Look how he's dressed."
Like that's all he sees her as.
By the way, best costume in the entire game is his. The crown, the cape, and the
another thing
underwear is awesome.
Let's talk about his boss fight. And did you notice the trend of all the boss fights?
How their problems are their themes. Like their issues, like what they do to people is the theme to the fight.
Well, what were the themes based off? Did you think?
Obviously, Kamoshida's was abuse and sexualization of younger women.
Well, you got to think about it a little bit deeper than that. They're all based on the 7 deadly sins.
Oh, well, all right. Yeah,
They are all based, so his is clearly lust.
Lust, yeah.
Lust, and he turns into this demon-like creature. A great part about this game, too, they added in Persona, you actually have opportunity to send your party member off to distract.
To do certain...
Yeah, to do a certain
you're distracting while they do
they do their thing. And
I actually was I was surprised that wasn't in more of the boss fights.
Yeah, it's in a few. It's in quite a few of them, but not in every single one. But yes, each one was based loosely on the 7 deadly sins, if you really think about it. And
Kamoshida has some of the better attacks, the better animations, his lustful drink or whatever he calls it.
Where he's drinking.
It's literally a wine glass filled with like Barbie dolls, and he sips it.
It was supposed to be real women.
Health.
Yeah, but
it's pretty funny.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. So, and the ending of that, it took a lot of guts for An not to kill him. Like, it took a lot of guts. And let's talk about that. Because Morgana mentions they don't really know the extent of taking the treasure. And if you kill that shadow person, what is the consequence of that? Yeah. We'll get to that later on. But what did you think about that when you first heard that? Because you have to make a choice to go into the dungeon.
You kind of got the feeling that whatever you were going to do in this alternate world was going to change something. You didn't
because
necessarily,
it's a consequence. Like,
yeah, they set it up to where it seems like it's more important than what it really is, because obviously it's not really an option to kill people.
Yeah, in the game, yeah.
If they actually gave you that option,
that
would actually be pretty cool.
That was probably the first hint of foreshadowing in the game, though.
That's true.
Probably the first big hint.
Yeah,
there's a lot of foreshadowing.
Besides the first time you actually meet Morgana.
Yes.
And how that all takes place.
Yes. Because you randomly just meet Morgana in the dungeon, like just straight up.
Well, you randomly end up in the dungeon. Too,
yeah, so. you just straight up just beat him.
I didn't even realize that had even taken place until you walked back up to the first palace. Because you're on your way to school and you, like, there's this little hazy scene and then like, sound waves or whatever hit the screen. And you really can't
what was your
tell.
What was your take of first meeting Igor in the Velvet Room? What did you honestly like? Like, what the hell? Like, holy
That's instantly what my first reaction was like, what the hell is going on? I thought it was game over.
Yeah.
Because you go into this nice, soft, beautiful music.
But what it is,
so nice.
It's a binding contract. He tries to help rehabilitate you. And we'll get later into it.
Somewhat.
Yes. So let's go.
But the first time you get into there, and just to give you my opinion of it, it's a cool way to do all the extra stuff in the game. It's a cool way to also explain to you what the hell's going on in the game outside of the game itself.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives you more heads up and more details onto what's actually taking place and why you're in the situation that you're in. And they do it very subtly. Like, Igor's not just spewing information out at you.
No,
he throws you like a hint, but it's in like a riddle or a joke.
Yes.
And
because of
the two
of a particular character,
the two
twins,
they're the same way. I love how one's a complete jerk to you, and the other one's really nice, but at the same time, you could tell that they're both kind of like going to the same point.
Yes, yeah, and that's an interesting thing you allude to that. Before we continue, because we'll kind of go quick through these palaces. What was the weakest?
Try to go quick through the palaces.
Like, what is the... Because we're already at 17 minutes or 20 minutes already. The thing is, what was the weakest palace to you overall story-wise? I'll let you think about it. I'll say mine. I say Madarame was the weakest villain out of all of the palaces, for sure. That's how I really feel. There is some foreshadowing to it. Madarame, I liked him a lot. I liked Yusuke's story and everything, but if you really compare his palaces to all the other ones, even his demonic form of,
I actually really liked his.
You liked his? For me personally, I thought out of everybody, his was the weakest. That's how I felt.
I understand what you're saying, but the idea of his boss fight and like
the living painting,
how it actually was a great
like all
idea.
the boss fights are great, but to me personally, that was the weakest one for me. What was the weakest one for you?
I'm gonna say Kanashiro's.
Okay, yeah, the banker.
The reason why I say that is because that was the one I was least invested.
Clearly greed.
Well, but
clearly greed. Yeah,
or gluttony.
He was fat.
Clearly, like, to me, it was the weakest story wise.
Yeah. Okay.
It didn't seem like it had too much consequence on everything else that seemed to happen, and
to me,
it was kind of like the cheesier of the
boss fights.
Not just the boss fights, but like the cheesier way to kind of get you in trouble in the story.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, we're gonna take pictures of you at this club, and we're gonna dish them out if you don't,
in
don't
real
do
life,
this by this time.
In real life, totally would have happened differently.
Yeah, right? Most people see you in a club drinking beer and stuff, and you're 17, people are going to be thumbs up in your picture like
well,
they're not going to look down upon you.
I didn't think about that, but I felt like they would have, if he was a true gangster, it would have handled a lot differently.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like a handle? Like,
right?
he was. And this is the thing. He was the first big fish you tackle. He was the huge...
He was, I guess.
So, technically, it was for you, at this point in the game, you still are...
They try to make it more interesting to where, like, Sai comes out and says, oh, well, we haven't even been able to touch this guy. And,
which gives you the opportunity to actually use your power. But it
still kind of just... It kind of just makes everything seem like, oh, well, if you can't catch this scrub...
Yeah.
But
what was the hint? What was the foreshadowing in Madarame's palace? What big hint did they drop? That they kind of...
Hint for who, though? For the story?
Yeah,
or for,
like... story. You know it. Somebody with a black mask.
Oh, yeah.
They mentioned
the first time it gets mentioned.
It's the first time you get mentioned, so hold on to that idea, kiddies, because we'll get back to that. It'll come full circle.
I actually forgot that happened in that palace.
Yes, it's mentioned. He's like, you're not like the other person that can traverse. So it alludes to this said person that has the same power as you. Yeah. So... Which is interesting, and even Igor was like, yeah, "This is strange."
I didn't know. I didn't know there was going to be another, because that's technically what he is. He's a protagonist. It's like your alter ego.
Yeah, it's a rival per se.
Yeah, and I didn't think that they were going to have one. Just because you usually introduce them towards the beginning of the game.
So let's back up a little bit on Madarame. We already talked about what I thought about Madarame's panels. Let's talk about what he did to Yusuke. Really quick. What did he really do to make Yusuke hate him? Because this is kind of a theme in the game. There's this...
If you recall, since we're on a spoiler cast anyways.
Yeah, we can talk
Atlas came out with a statement saying what you could and couldn't stream.
Yes.
And you couldn't do anything past a certain date because of specific things that happened to certain story characters. This was one of them. You weren't allowed to talk about the picture that came up in Madarame's palace.
Yeah.
Which...
You don't have to mention it. You don't have to mention it.
No, I want to mention it because I think this saves Yusuke as a character, to tell you the truth.
Yes. But what did he do? What did he really do to Yusuke?
First of all, he technically killed his mother.
Yes. He killed Yusuke's mom and stole
and not just stole hers, but steals all of his pupils' artwork and claims them as his own.
I mean, the adults in this game...
They're slimy mouths.
Yeah, they are. And it's very much like real life. There's a lot of corruption, and a lot of greed, and a lot of bad people. And...
Yeah, but
I want to talk about one of the most one of the funniest moments was when he wants to draw on naked. Yeah. And she wears 500 billion clothes just to get.
That's good.
You
it's
have
a good time waster too.
She had because you're trying to figure out, you're trying to get clues to unlock the treasure.
Well, no, that whole cutscene is Morgana trying to get that other door unlocked.
Yes, trying to get that door unlocked to see about that treasure and what's the trigger object.
Well, and also to show Yusuke yo, bro.
Yeah, stop being an idiot.
This is really going on.
Yeah, stop being an idiot. Yeah, and that scene was hilarious.
He's really defiant. When you walk up to him the first time and you bring up the information, he's like, no way in hell, get the hell out of here.
He was also a little creepy because he immediately approaches on and goes, I want to draw you naked. Which I'm sure that's not the first time she's heard that.
For my next pickup line.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not the first time she's heard that. I'm sure she's heard that a lot. Try that next time in the club, kiddies. Definitely. Just say, walk up to the hottest girl there and just be like, I want to draw you naked. So let's go to...
Say paint. It sounds better.
Let's go to Makoto and why she despises Kanashiro. Or what makes her go... Not really despise him to a degree, but what makes her drive...
To want to take him down.
Well, anyway, let's do some context to this. So when you first meet Makoto, she's kind of a rat. And she doesn't trust you.
She's high-strung.
Yes, because she's the student council president. And who doesn't want to, love that?
Yeah.
Come on.
She's a goody two-shoes.
Yeah.
She listens to everyone, which, you know, that's one thing we should bring up because we haven't yet. And this is almost kind of like the last time you really get to see him.
Yeah.
The principal in this game,
Yes.
who I really wish they would have done more with, because
I thought we were going to fight him. I thought he was going to be a boss.
They make him seem like such a involved and good character at first, and then they bring him into the story more, and you learn that he's actually working with all these bad adults that
he's
are
part
behind
of
the
corruption.
scenes for everything.
He's being controlled.
I wish he would have had something more to do with the story, or more to do with at least Makoto's part of the story, instead of, you know, what
he
ends
was
up
just a
happening
thread
to him.
to Makoto.
That's all he was.
It was a thread. It was a big web.
It was sad to see him get wasted.
But who drives Makoto to be that bold and to attack Kanoshiro, which is a stupid way to handle things. You don't ever handle things in emotion like that. That is stupid as hell. But her own family member,
yep.
You know, Sai goes, you... Like, she says something so awful to her.
She wants her to stick to the plan, stick to her studies, get a college education.
And said, but she said
she wants her to keep her head on straight.
Yeah, but she says to her that you're like nothing to me, or like something bad.
She does. She says
something
she degrades
awful.
her. She degrades her to a point to where,
like, you don't know how much of a burden you are to me. Something like that. Something awful. And Makoto was so hurt by
her family is also gone. Her family's passed.
Her dad was a big time detective, but died and passed on. Sai's taking care, and Sai's having a lot of pressure taking care of Makoto and trying to solve this case at work. And it's one of the first foreshadowing things that they try to make you hate Sai.
They do. They really
because
do. She does a damn good job of it by herself.
Yes.
The whole time she's interrogating you, and you go to the flashbacks.
They do.
But you get a little irritated by her.
But that hurt Makoto so much, and I felt so bad. That was the first time I really felt remorse, because I did not... I'm like, this girl's mean.
At the same time, it was the best thing that could have happened for her.
Yes, because what does she break free from? Her sis, and she gets her own freedom, and gets her own control, which we alluded to, you know, earlier.
She starts to lay her own path down.
And it's the same thing with Yusuke. He breaks free from Madarame. He finds his own way of art.
Which his is more of like a breaking free thing. Hers is kind of just like
finding her path in the sense.
More or less just laying down her own path.
Yeah.
Because she never had that. She's always had somebody directing her in a direction, or directing her towards something.
And you see that in her confidant link. Like you get to take her out to the arcade. That's like your first date or first hangout with her, which is awesome.
That was actually the first two I've done, and that was one of the two, so we could talk about that.
Okay, you did finish hers. Okay,
no, I didn't finish hers. I just did a couple of them.
Oh, okay. How far did you get?
I think only like 5.
Okay, because you needed the high charm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I didn't romance her. And I end up romancing someone else.
It took so long to get my knowledge up to talk to her to begin with.
Yeah, it was a pain.
And then it was charm after that.
It was charm.
It's just like Futaba's. Futaba's is kindness. And charm, I think. I think it's charm also.
Yeah, I think it's charm as well. Charm goes a lot of way, kiddos, for this game. When you talk to the girls with some deep scars. And every single...
Kindness is the one that's a bitch.
Yeah, yeah, like every girl... every character in this game... It's like real life, has some demons, has some emotional scars, and that's what I liked about the game. And that alludes to Kanoshiro's, you know, palace being a little bit weaker for you, because, you know, it's not super directly linked to Makoto. It was more like linked all to you, because you were all going to get framed.
Yep.
You were all going to get framed. So let's go to the next one.
It was Makoto's fault.
It was.
Because she's the one who found him, and...
What did she do? Tell him the craziness. Tell him the craziness. You should never ever do this, Kitty. Go right on emotion.
From what I remember,
because you played it a long time ago.
This was early April when I finished this part of the game. She's trying to get you to prove something.
Yes.
And you kind of like tell her like, oh, we don't just rush into things, and that's exactly what she goes and does. She's like, screw y'all. I'll find them. Well, she finds them.
And these are not people.
They're gangsters.
These were legit.
They're mafia members.
They were making kids.
Yakuza members.
They were making kids drug lords. They were pressuring kids to be drug lords, high schoolers, to sell their dope. You know, and it's insane how dark that is. If you really think about that. Pressuring these kids, putting them in huge debt that they can never get out of.
That's more the point.
Yeah,
not
you know, because they got the money
out.
already. They don't care. They just want more money out. Yeah, they just want to put that pressure. But Makoto really throws her life in the line. But her awakening was really cool. She really amazing.
She has the most emotional one in the game.
Yes.
I think.
And let's talk about the awakenings really quick. How painful it is. Like ripping that.
It does look painful, bro.
They're bleed. Like Yusuke
obviously
bleeds.
It doesn't look as painful as shooting yourself in the face.
Yes, for sure.
But I like because
they bleed when they rip off.
It's exposing your
true self.
It's almost you're exposing your true self and your true beliefs.
Because let's be honest, we all kind of wear this. We all kind of wear a mask. Everybody kind of wears that mask, and it's like, who do you really reveal that to? Mm-hmm. And that's what, you know, another sign of freedom. That's their freedom. You know what? Fine, I don't need to hide anymore.
Yeah.
And then their persona comes out, which is really cool. Let's talk about Futaba. Futaba's is the next palace, right? I believe.
Is it? Yeah.
I think so. I think it is. Because you just get Makoto. Yeah. And another thing is Makoto is one of the older girls in the game. So she drives and stuff like that. She drives.
Yeah, she's the oldest person in your party, I believe.
Her and Haru.
Because they're in the same grade.
They're in the same grade, yeah.
I think Yusuke's in the same grade as them, too. And I'm pretty sure Yusuke's a grade ahead of you.
No, he's
in your grade?
He's just in artsy. Another thing I like about this game, before we continue to Futaba's Palace, is that all your party members are in their own thing. Like, they're in their own classroom, their own... Like, in the previous Persona, you had quite a few party members that were in your class. The only person that's in your class is On. Everybody else, Yusuke has his art thing, Ryuji's in a different class, Makoto is the student council president.
The game only took advantage of that, like, once or twice, too.
Yeah.
Like, having both of them in the same class together. But most of the time when you're in class, you're answering questions, you're doing your own thing.
You're always texting and stuff, anyway. Which, don't do that, kiddies.
They actually did a really good job at showing you what school's really like nowadays. Here.
Yeah.
Not necessarily over there.
But, let's go into Futaba and how traumatized... Why is she so traumatized? Why can't she go outside?
No, we shouldn't start with that. That's a horrible thing to start with.
Okay, what do you want to start? We gotta speed this along.
I want to start off with how she herself contacts you and tries to get you to do certain things.
Alibaba.
Because you get this random text one day and it's just like, hey, I heard you were the Phantom Thieves. Can you help steal something?
First of all, you're attacked by a hacker group called Medjed, and you don't know what the hell to do. Like, you're stuck.
Yeah, you don't know what to do at all.
Stuck in the game, and then all of a sudden you get this weird text from Alibaba, and you're like, what? And to think, I didn't know how they were going to handle it. I was thinking Medjed was, you're going to find who that really is, and then you're going to go to their palace. But in reality, you end up going to Futaba's palace.
Yeah, which is even crazier because
Alibaba.
Sojiro's Futaba's guardian.
Yeah.
So your guardian, the person who took you in and is watching you to make sure you don't do any bullshit, is Futaba's guardian.
Yeah. Futaba's mother sadly dies. And it affected her greatly to the point where
she was murdered, bro.
She was, but she didn't find that out until later. But all she could think about that it was her fault. That's what she thought.
She blamed herself for it.
She thought she killed her mom.
It happened in front of her.
Yep.
She was a really young person.
And that affected her so much that she could never, like, go outside, talk to people. She became
a hermit.
She, perfect for her confidant, like, being a hermit. And to the point where her boss is her mom.
Yeah. It's such a good way to represent that feeling of her feelings, that she thinks she's to blame for her mom's death.
Yes.
She thinks her mom blames her for her
Even
death.
to the puzzles where you're recreating the puzzles and you're seeing it happen firsthand.
The pictures are awesome.
You're handing firsthand.
That was such a good way to tell that story.
Yes, and that's how she really felt. And another thing about Futaba, it's another thing, they explain the cognitive science.
That's the only...
science about it.
She has the most meaningful palace in the game.
Yes.
Because it explains a lot of the backstory to the metaverse itself.
Because her mom was a big-time researcher.
technically on why it exists.
Yes.
And how there could be other people manipulating it.
Yes.
Which,
and that's why she was...
Yeah, which is kind of gives you more hints, because obviously, it was referred to, or no, Kaneshiro did it too, because Kaneshiro was like, you guys aren't with the guy with the black mask, and
yeah,
you guys are like, oh, who the hell is this guy in the black mask?
And it always alludes to it. They do a good job, because the next person you see with a black mask is Haru. You see how she has a black mask, and everyone's like, black mask person.
Out. But no one freaks out that much, because obviously.
But they're like,
Morgana's run away. You had a little thing with Morgana.
There's a moment in time where the crew really gets hurt there, but they tackle the big fish. They help Futaba out. She comes out of her shell a little bit, whether it's wrong or right. And then they go it was a really good way to flush out her character, and Sojiro's, by the way. Yes.
Because there's a lot of lingering issues between them two.
Yes. That
get solved because you did this.
And honestly, you also help them out in their confidant links too when you do that, and they kind of help each other. And it's amazing, because Sojiro was dating her mom.
No, sort of.
He
liked her.
He really liked her. Anyway, so let's allude to before we talk to that person you want to talk about the most, but let's go to Kaneshiro. Let's not Kaneshiro. Let's the next big fish.
Okumura.
Yeah, Okumura's palace and what that defines, and then we'll talk about that said person, and we'll backtrack a little bit, and then we'll finish the story.
All right.
So let's go, and then we'll do the fun romance, and we'll end it. So let's go with Okumura. What is he?
Well, he's the president of a food corporation.
Yes, a lot of the food places you're eating, to the point where you're on your Hawaii trip.
All those Big Bang cosmic burgers you've been stuffing down your face throughout the whole game, trying to boost up your guts and stuff. Yeah, he owns that.
And to the point where you go to Hawaii, which is really cool for a trip in this game.
It's actually really cool.
You go to Hawaii.
Nice little break.
Yes, you go to Hawaii, and you actually see another a big cosmic burger or whatever, and they allude to it, like, okay, and then you finally come back and you tackle Okumura, and why does Haru want to break free from him so much?
Oh, there's a lot of reasons. Obviously,
there's many different reasons. Like
this is more of a typical old school Japanese relationship with fathers and daughters.
This is pretty disgusting to me. I do not like this.
A lot of things are prearranged. So if you're a daughter, you're more than likely going to be married off to somebody who benefits the family.
Especially since these are rich people. I mean, this guy's mega rich. Yeah. Like super.
These are high class.
Like Haru is a rich girl
trying to gain popularity, gain status through marriages.
Haru is a rich girl,
and her story makes you hate the people she's surrounded by.
Yeah.
You don't like her dad because of how much of a douche he is.
The thing is,
same thing with her boyfriend, like.
Oh, not boyfriend, fiance.
Or whatever, fiance. That guy's a prick. Excuse my French.
The fiance totally had her as an object. He just wanted to have fun with her.
Yeah.
Because that's what wives are supposed to do,
and
right?
The dad just literally thought of her as an object.
Yeah.
And
you're supposed to help the company.
You're pretty much just going to get sold off to the person who can benefit me the most.
Exactly. He did not care about his daughter in the slightest. And I felt so bad for Haru. And she handled it a lot better than I thought she would.
Yeah, a good thing to mention, too, is that they don't really explain this to you while you're doing all these palaces. But at some point in time, these people weren't like this. These people were good people. And something changed them.
Yes.
So that's why they say cognition in the game, but that's why like these whole palaces come about.
Yes.
Is because these objects manifest into these desires that are almost unreachable for these people.
Yes.
And the only way to do that, the only way to reach these goals that these bad people have is to be bad. Is to do shady deals, to sell off your daughter.
Yep.
And
the thing is, the treasure could be anything.
To sell drugs.
You know, like, it could be anything. So, when you finish Akumura, what happens to him?
You steal his heart, just like everyone else.
Normally, you steal his heart, and
well, that's exactly what happens.
Yep.
You've changed his heart.
Yes.
You see the process starting. So you leave because, just like every other palace, everything's crumbling down around you. You need to get the hell out. Last second, he gets shot.
By a mysterious figure.
You don't know who this guy is.
So we're going to backtrack.
You just know he has a really long nose.
Yeah, we're going to backtrack now.
I never put 2 and 2 together, by the way.
Yeah.
I never even clicked that. Oh, yeah. Oh, duh.
Like, I totally... that was not the first, but that was one of many moments I knew this particular character was not going to be with you for long.
We can talk about him now because that's pretty much where he gets.
Let's talk about how when we first meet him. Let's talk about this famous detective, Goro Akechi. And what'd you first think about when you first met him at the TV station, when he walked up to you, when you're talking pancakes?
You're way too nice. People who are way too nice are sketchy.
And that's what he
called him.
And it
rhymes with his goddamn name.
Sketchy
Akechi. And that's exactly what Akechi is. He's sketchy throughout the whole entire game.
And to me, honestly,
while he's in it.
He is the...
he might be the best character in the game, tell you the truth.
He's really good. He's probably the saddest character in the game. Like, tragic. Not sad, but tragic.
His story sucks.
Yeah, he has a very bad past, too. Because his story is him about acceptance. That's all he wants. The right kind of acceptance.
And I have a nice little twist. But at the end of the spoiler cast, we're going to talk about how the game ends and how we think or how we would have rather have it ended. Yeah. I have a nice little twist for that.
But anyway, when I first met him, I never trusted him. He reminded me of two characters, and two particular characters. He's a combination of two detectives in Persona 4 in a lot of ways. But I never trusted him because his link was always... I knew he wouldn't be a permanent partner.
Because he's one of those static links. You can't actually level up.
You don't hang out with Akechi at all. You just link his link.
You kind of do.
Occasionally, but it's a nice illusion.
It's not a hangout. It's you run it.
You don't
when you're going to school in the morning, or you woke up in the morning and you're going to the train station.
They allude to it. They do a good job twisting it.
He'll bring you. You guys will meet on occasion.
But I always felt like there was something off about him. Never trusted him.
Did you joke around with him when you were able to pick options and talk to him?
I tried to be stern as possible and not let him onto me. But it honestly doesn't. It doesn't really, because
I joked around. I busted his butt a few times
because I know he wanted something. Every time he talked to me, he wanted to know something, and I was always like,
"Well, because at this point in time, you've already who he is. You know about him because the TV station thing all that happens.
He is a young hotshot detective. He's solving all these crimes. Yeah, he's the new hotness right now, and solving for sure. But you meet him in that TV station, and that just, I never felt right to me.
You couldn't.
And then he alludes to many other things every time he talks to you, and he kind of he immediately hates the Phantom Thieves, but yet he kind of defends them in the end.
Yeah. Well, he kind of defends them throughout the whole game.
Just not in Medjed. Because Medjed, he hated you. He has your ideals. Yes.
But he
technically as a character he does. Yeah.
He just doesn't go about achieving them the same way. He's more of the,
he took a different path.
He's the dirtier of the player. He's the I'd rather shoot first, ask questions later kind of thing.
He's one of the few moments that this game was predictable to me. I really felt like he was not going to be part of the crew. I didn't think it was
predictable that he was.
For me, it was. I thought he was the traitor from get-go. I thought immediately. Well, we'll talk. Well, you want to?
I mean, that made sense.
To me, I knew he was the traitor.
But see, I didn't. Me being my first playthrough, that didn't hit me until you got back into the interrogation room.
Yeah.
So obviously,
for me, no, I knew immediately. I'm like, this POS, and when he blackmailed you in the cultural festival.
That was a good one.
I knew, and they would kind of fuzz things out. I always I saw the foreshadowing. Black Mask.
It was such a good way to do that.
Yeah, I saw all the foreshadowing.
You barely notice that they cut off certain conversations. Yes. It just kind of like ends and then they moves on. But they do a really good job at smoothly cutting these out to where I didn't miss anything, did I?
Even his name when he joins you is a foreshadowing.
Yeah,
Crow.
Crow thing.
Like, I immediately when this mysterious figure killed Okumura, I immediately knew I was just that's the bad egg. And then when he blackmailed us, because we had no room. Yeah, there was no room.
You were stuck. You were in a corner.
You
had no choice.
And the game does such a great job of making him feel like part of your party member because he's really strong. He has a cool persona, Robin Hood.
He dabs. His cutscene is a dab.
Yeah, he
does this little hop step, dabs,
and then he's
Goro Kechi. Yeah,
he has such a infectious personality, but it's all fake. And that's the one thing that bugs me is fake people, and he's fake. So, when Haru's dad is murdered by Akechi, we'll just say it out there right now.
Oh, straight up killed.
Was killed and murdered, you are put to blame. And he's like, oh, we got to end the Phantom Thieves. That was another foreshadowing that he was part of something to me. So, when Okumura goes down, he dies because you think you did something wrong. And the Phantom Thieves' popularity starts to plummet each day. Just bloop, 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 bloop. Almost at 100%. And goes bloop, bloop, bloop each day. And the team's in a bad mental state because of this dude. They don't know what's going on. To the point where they actually do kind of know, and they actually set him up.
That was good.
They actually set him up into one of the final dungeons, Sai's dungeon. Which you called out. Which to me, I didn't think that we would actually go.
No. They didn't set him up in Sai's dungeon. That's not really what happened.
They set him before that.
No.
Yeah, they did.
No, it was in Cheetos.
What happened? No, it wasn't. It was Sai's.
All right. You're talking about how, but they don't allude to that until after.
Yeah, but they set him up before Sai's dungeon.
Well, obviously, but you don't know about that until after.
You got to look at the hints. Like it's thrown right in front of you.
Sorry, first playthrough, like I said.
Well, it was mine too, but I just knew he was a traitor. I just knew this guy was a POS. Like, he was just a bad person. And, well, to a degree. Because he ends up redeeming himself really nicely at the end there. So
I think he got Jewed.
Well, he was screwed anyway.
I really think he should have stayed alive, to tell you
the truth. Yeah. Let's go to the twist of him being a traitor. And then you getting captured on said day. You actually give yourself up.
Okay.
It's Sai's day. You actually give yourself up. And it goes back to that exact day where you're being interrogated by Sai. And what were the choices?
By the way, this is my favorite part of the game.
This is where you get the true ending of the game. This determines the true ending of the game.
This is the first part.
First part. There's two, yeah. But go ahead. I'll let you take over, because this is your favorite. You were so excited and pumped about that.
All right. I played this early afternoon, this part of the dungeon. You beat Sai, you come back, the whole thing, it starts going through the thing, blah, 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 blah. And then you go through a big cutscene. I
mean, a long one. It's a lengthy one.
You get to make a few choices, but there's no action in it. You're not walking around. It's a big cutscene. And the whole story is kind of like dished out to you right there and then of all the stuff that just took place up to that point. So you go back and they explain to you how you figured out Akechi was not Akechi.
A sketchy Akechi.
And then they also go through how you managed to
Did you honestly, your first time through, without replaying, did you really make the right choices?
Yeah, like I said, I did the same exact thing the second time.
Because what does Sai want you to do?
She wants you to throw everyone under the bus.
And if you
she's trying to get you to throw everyone, including yourself, under the bus. To prove your innocence. Yeah. And I want to say, and I told you about this.
Tough.
I told you about this last week.
To make that decision.
I'm pretty sure I threw Ryuji under the bus, but I don't think it didn't make a difference at the end because
No.
But I still got the true ending and stuff.
Because I
think
the question,
it's just Makoto. If you throw Makoto under the bus,
I think it's the questions after that where you have to.
Oh, true.
There's like 3 particular questions that she asks, and we'll leave the other 2 alone. But we'll leave. That's the first big one, and she wants to throw. You want.
But back to this great cutscene.
But you didn't allude to that at all. You didn't
Not
think.
really.
You didn't think, with like that's the first time you realized that Ketchy was.
That's the first time it was concrete. But like I told you, I always thought he was sketchy. I never knew he was. I didn't know he was going to be that bad.
I figured. I just knew he fit.
Not as bad as he was. I still thought Shido was actually the guy in the black mask, and they even hint to it a few times during the game that he could be that person.
Yeah,
because they. Besides the few hints that Akechi gives you, it really
Akechi, he kind of alludes to like, "Oh, this black masked man shot me," and I was like, "No, it was you."
Yeah.
Well, I just that's what in my heart. I just knew. I just never liked the kid from the get go.
It was hard.
Don't ever approach me again.
Don't ever approach me.
My second playthrough, please be out of it. Please be out of it.
I'm gonna kill you as soon as pancakes. You didn't hear the word pancakes.
Besides him being a traitor, it still was a great part of the story. It set up
really
the story really nicely.
I played it twice for a reason, man.
Yeah,
it's because I really enjoyed just reliving how they did everything.
Yes,
and
so let's talk to
swindled everyone.
Let's talk about this man you just talked about, Shido. Was he a great antagonist for you, or no? What'd you think?
No, because he wasn't the antagonist.
Technically, no, but it seemed like it. The whole game seems like...
No, I really don't think so. Most bad guys in a game, especially the big bad guys, are really relevant and upfront. And they tried to make it seem that
that's the point. That was the whole point with
Shido.
Because
the whole first cutscene of the game is you getting arrested. Shido's there.
Yep.
The part in the elevator when you go to the TV station, it highlights Shido again. But he's not in all the game. You don't really see him until after Sai's dungeon.
Yeah. But it kind of...
Most antagonists do not leave game for that long of time. They show themselves in some way, shape, or form, or make it known to you that, hey, I'm the jerk behind all this. I'm the person you have to kill.
He had his
off Persona for a second. A great, and I know you haven't played it yet. Final Fantasy 15 does this very well, because you have no clue. At least I didn't have a damn clue on who the antagonist was until, oh my god.
Okay.
And then it drops the bomb, and then you're like, that I never would have even thought that. Not even a thought in my head.
With Shido, though, like they did a really good job because he is the main ruler of. Until you find out later,
he's trying to become Japan's new leader.
Yeah, he wants to become Japan's new leader, but he is running a lot of these people.
Yes.
But in reality, he was a puppet himself.
Yeah,
he was a
exactly
puppet.
What it was.
He was a puppet, but the game does a really good job making it seem like it's him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's the frustration, and his palace was fantastic. It was a ship.
It was good.
It was a big cruise liner because
he thought he thought he was the captain.
Yep, he thought he was the captain of the ship. He was going to
sail everyone into a new land, a new life.
Once you beat his 3-part boss fight, which was pretty good. It was pretty long. It was lengthy
more
boss
entertaining
fight.
than I thought.
It made it seem like he was going to be the final villain, which I already knew he wasn't.
It's like I told you, bro. It's too easy.
But they go to the anime cutscene and Ryuji blows up. Did you think he was dead?
Yeah, bro.
I didn't think so at all. There's no way they were gonna kill him.
Everybody was so sad.
Yeah,
especially because
it was unexpected. It
had happened before to where we thought Morgana had died.
Yes,
and Morgana was still there. So
they pull on your heartstrings a lot in this game. But I knew he was. I'm like, what are you doing?
And I'm not even talking about at the end of Shido's, where we really think Morgana dies.
Yeah.
But no, it's
Shido. He was an interesting character, but who was the main villain?
the person you see the most in the game.
And it was right
and you know what?
in your face the whole time.
And I told you about this, and
Fucking time.
I had weird vibes about it because
it actually got me. I was not expecting this.
His voice is really different.
Yes.
During the game, and obviously I've never played another Persona game, so I looked into older games just to kind of see what the game was about.
Oh,
and
you jerk!
No, but anytime you would see Igor, he would not speak like that.
Yeah,
he sounded bad.
That's the first hint.
He sounded evil,
and I'm a little disappointed they didn't bring the original voice actor back to do
his actual voice.
Yeah,
I liked his actual voice.
No, it was cool. It was very nice. It was polite.
Yeah. It was polite and soft.
I alluded to the twins
Yep.
being separated, and I knew they were. I knew once you did their confidant link, because we can actually talk about it, you did that.
Yeah, everybody did.
Once you did that confidant link, you could tell they had memories missing, and that they were probably originally one being. And that was a nice
I kind of got that feeling when...
but
I think after you finish the third or fourth Persona for them... They kind of have the same thought.
Yes,
cross their mind, and then but the way they get viewed on screen, they're almost like side by side, and as you're looking at them, you start to realize like they're almost like a mirror image of each other.
Yes,
it's like their eye patches are on the different opposite sides. Their hair is.
By the way, if you combine their eye patches, it says oxymoron.
Yeah, it's
oxymoron.
So good.
Really, so much detail.
There's a lot
in
of
this game.
subtle little hints everywhere about.
So much detail that's put in this game. So,
and that's actually one. I'm so excited to go back through it because I want to see if Igor drops hints throughout the game because I not once picked up on it.
I didn't either. I didn't think he was the bad guy at all. But before we go into that, we forgot to mention Ishido's ship, Akechi's final story. What does Akechi reveals himself as being the traitor?
Yeah,
he has a second persona.
Not just being the traitor, he's Shido's like bastard child.
Yes, he ends up being Shido's bastard child, and that's why he misses the acceptance. He wants the acceptance from
Shido himself.
Yeah, he wants it,
but he doesn't want acceptance. He just wants. He wants Shido to look at him eye to eye, acknowledge the fact he is who he is, and then he wants to stab Shido in the back.
And he actually has...
Which is so cool to think about now, because you want to take this dude down, and he wants to do it too. That's why you guys...
He wants to do it in the wrong way, though.
Yeah, obviously. He wants to do it. You want to change
he
his heart.
He got the...
He just wants to
like, what he did to solve all his crimes... I mean, to solve all of the crimes, he killed every single one of those people.
Yeah, and he made the crimes what they were, and so that's why he was able to solve
That's why he was able to do it. But he reveals himself to be, a rival of the protagonist in the sense he also has the wild card ability.
Yeah,
he's never
the second Joker technically.
Yes, he never fully realizes it though because he only has Loki and Robin Hood. He never fully realized it because he never formed the bonds that you need to unlock all the personas.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because he took the different route. He took the better route.
The journey is not about your journey by yourself. It's your journey with your friends.
And that's what even Igor, when you thought he was good, says to you. He goes, "You gotta make this journey with your friends and unlock."
Which is
interesting.
It is, but it gives it more context at the end when he goes. I wanted to pit you against...
Yes, and see who would win.
See, I wanted to pit you two against each other, but when I started to realize that you easily had the upper hand, he started to put things against you to make you... Like, he forcefully makes you lose this game. And I like that at the end, too, how he's like, oh, so, this game isn't over yet. And he kind of, like, mind screws you for a second.
He does.
And then you're like, what do you mean this game's not over? I'm pretty sure it's about to end. And he's like, nah, man, I'm really a bad guy.
So what did you think of, like, that really surprised me of the doppelganger Igor, because he sends the twins to kill you.
Oh, dude, the twin thing is awesome.
The twins to kill you, and they don't want to do it.
Once you beat them up.
Well, you don't. They beat the shit out of you. They beat
you
shit
up.
out of
My
you.
bad. But technically you beat them up. You beat them up emotionally.
Yes, you did.
They
you
realize
formed that bond,
they realize that they messed up.
Yes.
And you execute them. You shove their asses in the guillotine, chop off their heads.
And they fuse
awesome
back into
her name is
Levon's. It's
her
an
name
L.
is crazy.
It's with an L, but she's actually the butterfly that talks to you in the beginning of the game. So it comes full circle.
Yes,
it comes full circle. But Igor turns out to be not the real Igor, a fake Igor. And like Chad said, he put all this doom against you because you find out, you go to the Mementos, you figure that what's going on, and all these people are in this prison, and it's what society wants to be. They want to be in their prison. And you get to this point in the game where you find out, Igor is the fake Igor, and you get another choice. He's like, I could wipe all this away for you, or I'll leave it as it is. And if you refuse, you get the true ending, and then you get a chance to fight him. And what's he end up being at the bottom of Mementos?
The Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail. The Holy Grail. But he turns into...
No, that's so good, too, because that's literally like every man's desire.
Is the Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail.
And you can say otherwise. No, everyone wishes for eternal life.
Yeah.
And
that's what he was.
And to make that last palace literally be like
the Mementos.
It's
a prison. Yeah.
It's a prison for everyone. Like, this is what the Grail does to you.
Yeah.
And
it's so true.
It's so good. It's such a good theme to end the game on, truthfully. To reiterate the fact that everyone in this world has a dark side.
Yeah.
Everyone has this Grail that they want. They want to get. You have your goals. You have your. There's something you want to achieve.
Yeah.
And this thing.
And like Chad alluded to, it's what path do you take to get there?
Yeah.
Do you take the dirty path?
But this thing.
Or you take the right path?
This thing literally wants to give you what you want, but as an illusion.
Yeah.
What
does he do to the world?
Falsifying your life.
He technically just destroys the world. He starts with, Japan. But what's he turn into? It was a true final boss. Alza blah blah blah.
Yeah, a big archangel looking thing.
Of death, basically.
It's when it started getting really, like, I knew it was already going down a deep hole, but once you start getting into the actual angels and demons part of it.
He was the true boss, and he was the true deity, and he wanted this world to end. But because you form all these bonds, and you summon the ultimate persona, which, by the way, the second playthrough, you can fuse him.
Yeah, Sataniel.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's your ultimate persona. That's the protagonist in this game, his ultimate persona. So you summon this ginormous devil.
It's so cool.
It's what it is. You summon this ginormous devil, and you shoot him in the face, and you end the game. But wait! The game's not over. What do you actually have to do to actually end the game?
You actually have to do.
You turn yourself in.
Oh,
Side approaches you and says, "Hey, they're gonna come attack you."
So then there's 3 choices at the end of the game to get the true ending. You have to do all the Sais, you have to do Igor's, and then you have to do Sais again.
No, because whatever you say, it's just those 2. For sure.
Yeah, but can't you decide not to turn yourself in? Isn't that one of the options?
Not really. You still do it.
It still slides
you automatically do it.
Okay.
You automatically just do it.
That makes sense.
And by the way, you finished the game on Christmas Eve, by the way.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest Christmas gift for yourself? Going to prison.
You're
going to prison.
It's so good that they do that too, because the whole game is about being free, and you literally have to turn yourself in
to be
free.
Yeah.
So you have to make the decision, the right decision,
to the point where you spend a night with your significant other.
But it's better because then that's after that.
No. You on Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah.
No, Christmas Eve. You spend a night with your significant other, and you lie to them for their protection. I
didn't lie. I told her straight up.
My choice is I didn't, like with An. You kind of have. There's like no.
Well, you couldn't lie to her anyway. She knows.
No, she didn't. She even tells you.
Oh, she doesn't know that you have to go to jail.
That's what you're talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she knows that there might be repercussions of doing this, but you lie to her and she goes, "You're hiding something from me. I wish you would have just told me." And that made me. I was like,
I think they actually kind of pushed you to that.
That answer. I know, but it made me. I was like,
I think my options were to like tell her or ... And
mine weren't.
I'm pretty sure I picked Teller, but it didn't say anything, and it just kind of was like I just kind of sat there.
For me, there was nothing like that. It was just like, hey, you gotta. It's like just keep it in or just ignore it, and that's basically what it was. And she just like, you lied to me, but you go to prison for like 2.5 months before you're going home.
Yep.
You get out the day before Valentine's Day.
Which is it's a nice little scene, by the way, and all the little scenes in between what happened
and
are really emotional.
And then we'll get to the high note here. You know, you spend a nice day with your Valentine, unless you're a douche and you did the harem, then you get what's coming to you. You know what you did.
Giving away too many chocolates, bro.
Yeah, too many, bro. Too many. You should be ashamed of yourself.
How much money did you spend on all those necklaces?
And you spend a really nice romantic night with him. And it's funny. Sojro's like, hey, like when back in my day, there'd be so fun. And then he's just like, oh, you know what? I'll leave it to you two
alone.
Total bro move. Thank you, Sojro.
Here's the shop.
Yeah.
Here's the keys.
Yeah. And then Morgana even leaves you alone. But,
sad in his situation.
Yeah, he gets a little sad.
She didn't care. I'm pretty sure Morgana checked it out.
And anyway, so what happens though is after that, you go home and you gotta say goodbye to everybody. And very much like how Persona 4, you kind of do that. You say goodbye to everybody.
Now, I have a question for you, and I guess you can consider this spoiler. I'm not really sure. Have the past games ended in a loosely like this one did? Like how this one, you could almost make a sequel to this game with the way this game ended.
I like how this one ended. It ended in a high note. Like with 3 and 4, honestly, 3 might be the best ending of all time.
I'm a little disappointed that there wasn't more closure to the entire thing.
Because 3 and 4 had a real sad. Like I was happy to beat it, but I was sad at the same time. But this one, you really end on a high note with your friends driving you home.
Yeah,
they're like, you know what? We're gonna just drive you home anyway.
See, but that makes me think that you guys probably aren't going home.
Maybe not. I don't know. It said Finn, so I don't know.
It did say Finn.
But
it was a good one.
It was a great ending to me in the sense that, you know, I just had this amazing journey with my friends, but I'm not sad. You know, they took me home. You know, they took me home, but of course, yeah, they're probably like 3 and 4 are really close to each other.
I'm telling you, man,
they're really close to each other.
I understand there's probably going to be spin-offs like they did with 4.
Yes, but I think 5 and 6 will be really close to each other. Like how 3 and 4 are really close. I think 5 and 6 will be, even though they're all kind of connected with a thread in a way, but 5 and 6 I think will be really close to each other.
Do they call the metaverse something different in these two games? Well, in 4 and 3. Or is it just the metaverse?
It's different. They're completely different.
So
different
really,
themes, different things. Like
so they're really not. There's really not a link in between each game to really connect.
Sort of like they are connected because they allude to Persona 4 a lot in this one and 5, and I think they mentioned 3 and 2. And if you watch the TV, I think they mentioned certain characters from 3 and 2, and then 4 has some of the posters, even to Dancing All Night. Like they have some posters there too because they're idols. Well, Rise and that other particular character is an idol. So they allude to it. The ending, I really felt happy. I really enjoyed. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there will be a bunch of spin-offs and stuff, for sure. And they'll allude. The thing about the spin-offs, they're all canon, so they will allude back to that
it's
particular.
Like if you want more story, you got to play all these games.
But I liked how this ended. It was really beautiful to the point where you even get to talk to your significant other. Like this, the first person you talk to on the last day, you'll meet them like, oh, in my particular case, that particular character's like, oh, I'll come see you for sure, you know, when I'm not doing photo shoots and stuff like that.
I was about to say, which doesn't make sense since she's bringing your ass home anyways.
Yeah, which is funny, which is interesting, which I wish they would allude to more, where, you know, like even when Christmas Eve.
Well, that makes me think that they're going to be on another adventure before you end up getting home.
Possibly.
The spin-off is going to be something that happens on your trip back to your house.
Possibly.
Which makes sense. I mean, if you're going to make games like that, that's how I would do it.
That's a possibility as well. So let's talk about the last and final part. Well, what do you want to talk about?
different alternate ending for you guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just to throw this out there. I think they could have done something really crazy to where when Akechi is sitting there spilling his beans about Shido being his dad.
Yes. It's a heartfelt thing.
What if Akechi figures out that you are also one of Shido's bastard children, and you're both technically Shido's kids? What if they actually did that and actually made it go down a deeper, darker hole? Because that would be really weird.
I don't like that as much because it kind of takes away from him to a degree because that's what his anger was.
I don't think Akechi would have died if that was the case, obviously.
Yeah. Well, what if, like, did you want to save him?
I didn't want Akechi to die.
Yeah. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Well, they didn't
I
either.
actually ended up liking Akechi more.
Because after he confessed and everything, after he whooped
Not
his
necessarily
ass,
because
whooped
I
his
respected him more as a character because he wasn't this...
goody two-shoes. He was actually really hurt. Like, he was hurt like everybody else, but he just took a...
He was so much more cooler than what he made him seem to be.
He just really took a dark path.
He really did.
He really
and he relished in it. Like,
yeah, he was all about it.
He owned it.
But he wanted to kill you.
Because
he didn't want to hug you.
Shadow Akechi was... He was...
a jerk, yeah.
He was dark, bro.
Yeah.
He was real... Even the look in his eyes the whole time was like... I've always thought of you as a lower being of myself.
Yeah.
And he's talking to the real version of Akechi. Like...
And that really stuck a nerve, but he ends up saving you and sacrificing himself for the greater
Dude, I was
good.
sad when that happened. Because I wanted it to be a little more... Whether they actually showed it or...
I couldn't say I was sad, but I was like...
Oh, I was sad.
Appreciate it, dude. I was like, appreciate it, bro.
Sad.
You did it for the
actually
GG.
Really missed Akechi.
You did it for the GG, and I appreciate you.
For the GG.
You appreciate you. You did it for the GG. You saved me and my lady.
Another cool thing, has really nothing to do with the story or anything. The post fight cutscenes when you did the group up thing and you attacked and whoever was on that had to do whoever made the last attack had their post up signature like close out or whatever. Those were so cool.
Those were really cool. Even Akechi's was really cool.
Yeah,
it was very flashy.
He dabs.
It's funny because he. It was really good. The post cutscene and stuff. Let's end it on romance though. Let's end it on some fun tidbits. I'm sorry you had to wait an hour and 12 for romance.
He calls this the fun tidbits.
But let's just some fun tidbits. So who would you end up romancing your first time through? Did you stay faithful? One?
Yeah.
One? Did you have one or
one
did you
the whole
have many?
time, bro?
Okay. And who was yours?
Needed those special massages. So I got them in nice and early. I started flirting with Kawakami as soon as you were able to.
Which is who?
She's your teacher, by the way.
So all the personas always have an interesting, prove yourself moment with the guys. The guys get together and they want to prove themselves, and it's usually called Operation Babe Hunt. But in this one, it was they call a maid service.
Yeah.
And it ends up you're the only one that Ryuji and Mishima
they bitch out, they run away, they go hide behind the curtains. Yeah. You're standing there. And then it's so funny when she walks in too because you don't even think it's her. And then you stop for a second and you're like,
wait, it's your teacher?
That's Kawakami.
By the way,
this is getting interesting.
By the way, she looked fantastic in that maid uniform. I mean, fantastic. Whoever invented maid uniforms, God bless you. Thank you so much. I mean, that is the greatest thing on earth. I mean, thigh highs are my thing, and I just like that.
Next year,
I like that.
Next year at MegaCon, make the maid thing a little longer. That way Levi can attend.
Bro, you acting like you didn't want to go. You wanted to go with me.
Oh, I wanted to go to breakfast. I thought it was going to be entertaining. That thing sold out. No lie. Within the first 2 days of it being online. And so that's crazy.
So with her romance, did you end up enjoying it? Like the date moments were fun?
The story was fun because it always had that level of uncomfortability. It's really uncomfortable because you're a teenager, she's an adult.
That taboo.
She's your teacher.
That taboo, yeah.
And her story
is really
actually
dark,
deals with that exact thing.
Yeah. And what
it kind of added another layer onto it.
Her confidant, all the pressure she was put under. Yep. She was so depressed about that particular situation that she needed money that she was paying the scrubby parents.
Yep. And she was,
because that particular child died.
This whole time, she's pushing you away because she sees herself
doing the same
making the same mistake she did before, even though she didn't necessarily have a relationship with the kid. She was just being a teacher.
She was just teaching him, but he ends up tragically dying, and she's blamed.
Yeah,
for it,
even though it's not her fault at all. It's all his parents' fault.
And she lives with it to the point she's so stressed out she ends up in the hospital.
Well, everyone does. Everyone lives with their problems in this game until you come and solve them.
Yeah. Or you just open them up a little bit. You just give them a pat.
Well, see, then, like I said, you did different confidants than I did.
Yeah.
Everyone in mine had a problem except for
they all did. They did.
The politician was more like a pat on the back, bro.
Yeah.
Just.
Well, he had his problem too. He was kicked out of his cabinet.
Yeah, but that was more. That was fault. It was building his confidence back up rather than solving a problem.
Yeah, you're right about that. But everybody. So who would you romance inside the group then?
If I had to, it would probably be Haru.
Hers was.
I would say Futaba, but Futaba's kind of like the weirdest one because she is
an introvert.
She is the younger one of the group, and she's technically like your little sister.
So who would you think is the most popular girl? Like fan vote?
Makoto, by far.
Yeah, Makoto was. She was the one that won all the polls.
She's enough to both sides to where everyone likes her.
Yeah, she's super sweet, but yet she has that naughty
really
side.
Strong. Really strong.
Yes, when you help her out and she goes on her own path, it's an amazing feeling to see because she was so low in the dumps.
But also, to go into gameplay aspects of it, she's one of the better characters to use.
She is. She's really good.
So,
she has nuclear moves, so she's a beast.
That also has something to do with it, I believe.
Yeah.
Because I want to say a lot of people didn't use Anne, Ryuji, and Yusuke.
I did.
Because I don't think they were as useful as everyone else. Because all Yusuke's attacks were either physical or ice.
Yeah.
I used kind of the same thing with Ryuji. Ryuji's electric physical.
Yep.
And on straight fire.
Yep.
And
healer. She's a good healer too.
See, that's Morgana was better.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of like they were always the ones I alternated between, but they were also the ones that I had the more personas for. Like, for some reason, all my personas had either fire or thunder or ice. It was harder to find the ones with nuclear and psychic.
Haru had psychic. The thing I want to talk about is in Persona 3.
For that matter.
In Persona 3, you had to romance all the girls, and there was really no consequence if you did it in time, which is super high.
You had to?
Yeah, because you didn't have no option. 4 changed that where you had an option, but all the girls were so accepting of you just being their friend. And the one girl I wanted to talk about is Haru, so slight spoiler. Slight spoiler, when you help her out, because her old confidant link is about, her ex in the way. But when she asks you at that final night if she will, so what are we?
That's how hers ends?
I won't spoil it, but I'm just saying when you ask her, the guy, a particular guy is like, oh, so you're really interested in this gentleman that's with you. And she asks you, she's like, so what are we? And even though she accepts it, she turns away. And you could see the pain on her face that when you say, we're just friends. And I like that one a lot because in real life, most girls would not be okay. When they really... It's hard... Honestly, kids, it's hard to put yourself out there and face rejection, but it's a part of life. It just happens. But when Haru doesn't understand love, she never got it from her dad. And she sure as fuck, never got it from her fiance.
We dropped one. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, it was me. Yeah, probably. Sorry.
I've been waiting for
it. And when she opens herself up to you, spend so much time with her, and the game lets you know. It's like, dude, you got a girlfriend. Don't
do this.
Don't do this.
I like how they kind of throw that at you every couple minutes.
Yeah,
like you're talking to one of the other confidants, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna give her a gift," because anytime you give somebody something, it boosts it up.
Yes, it does.
So you want to be giving people stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are certain gifts you shouldn't give, and certain gifts you should.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but throw chocolates this way, and
I
like
liked
things like
that
chocolate
most.
and stuff like that. Obviously,
Because more of the other girls
More
were
lovey-dovey.
more of the other girls when you say like okay, but with her, you saw her pain, even though she accepts it. You know, we're just friends. But that was about her whole length. She wanted to really discover what love is, and you helped her to a degree. But there's many different kinds of love, but it hurts when you really like somebody, and then you're just like, you know, I already have someone, and then she just like turns away, and she's like, okay, and you just see the pain, and it ends right there.
bro, how
It
could
ends
you
with
do that? How could you do that in a horror, anyways?
I'm
She's
a
so nice.
I'm a monster.
She has a battle axe.
I know, I'm a monster. I mean, monster.
Makoto only has brass knuckles and has a whip. This chick wields a battle axe.
So I'll talk
Who's
about
more
who
badass?
I'll talk about who I romance. I know, right? I end up romancing.
They already know, bro.
Yeah,
You've
they already know.
If you haven't caught Levi's hints throughout this whole thing,
Yeah. She, and you know my biggest weakness is blonde hair, blue eyes. So I always tended to go there, but I really was really close to. I wanted to romance Makoto. I end up really enjoying her.
surprised you didn't.
And you know, I did. A couple of days later, I finally maxed out my charm, and I was like, "Too late!
Damn
I made the commitment. And I'm not gonna do that." And I actually really enjoyed it. Like I liked all the girls. Getting to know them were so amazing. Like layered.
Getting
when
to
you
know everyone.
Huh?
Getting to know everyone, not just
just
the
every
female
single
characters.
person. Yeah. And who I would, you know, romance outside the group, it would be Hifume, hands down. She was amazing to me. I loved her story, and hers was.
You take her to go, bro.
Well, hers was bad. Like it ended up being her mom using her and stuff.
She had a
It
good
was
story,
messed
too.
up. It was messed. I don't know if you maxed her out.
She was one of the ones I maxed.
Okay, well, her mom using her and everything like that. It was just it was just mean. Like it's just like the parents in this game are bad people. Like
Yeah, for sure.
really bad people. Like it's just very interesting. So
we can speak a little more about the actual gameplay itself and be a little more gameplay spoiler. I know we're going past your time limit.
well, for sure. I mean, there is no time limit, but we talked a lot longer on the spoiler cast than I thought we would.
There's
Like I
there's
didn't
a bunch
write
of
a
things
lot.
that happen in the game that
Go ahead, add to it.
that make you feel good about playing it. We talked a little bit about the music and everything else, but the tone the music sets to this game throughout the whole entire thing keeps you locked in
Yes.
and keeps you. It wants you to keep going because except for like obviously when you walk out at night, it has a different theme than during the day, or your
game-
battle themes like.
This whole
Going
game
into the fights
is like real life.
Oh,
It's a whole
it's a
roller
roller
coaster.
coaster. It is. It really is.
Of emotions. Emotions.
Well, Levi's emotions, but it's a roller coaster. To
I don't know. I felt a lot for the characters. I enjoyed all the
weaving in
characters.
and out between the stories,
Yeah.
and trying to manage life in the game itself
It's tough.
keeps you occupied, and it's very enjoyable. If you had any doubts about playing this game, or if you have any doubts about playing this game,
Play it.
just
play it.
try it,
Yeah.
and you'll enjoy it. You really will. Even if you don't have really like the time to do it, even if you kind of just want to do it more casually and just play it as you can, you're still going to enjoy your time with the game. You don't have to rush through it. I'd rather have you sit around and play it for 200 hours like I did.
When you play this game, you won't rush through it. You will.
You won't want to.
You will enjoy
want
it
to.
to the degree. It'll take you a while to figure out, but you will enjoy that ride and just play it just how you would play it. Like in my gameplay videos when I was on a date night with said character, you know, I said those things how I wanted to say it. It's not because I was trying to get, the best, option.
You still have options, but
You have options, but I said it how
whichever
I was gonna say it.
option you think you would use.
Yeah,
that's what
and that's what I did. I said it how I wanted to say it, and it was always fun to see that reaction from her. And it's a lot of sweet moments. I know it's a video game characters we're talking about, but that's how good this story is. Like you feel a part of it from beginning to end, and you go on this amazing journey with your friends that no one knows about, except for a few people.
The journey, man. It's all the story sucks you in, like I said, and you want to finish it.
It's so good. The series as you can see, it just really means a lot to me.
I kind of wish they all interlocked a little more. I kind of wish they had a little more to do with each other and make it actual like a series instead of just standalone games.
Well, they do to like 3 and 4. Like you actually in 4, your field trip is going back
here. Oh, cool.
Which is interesting. And then 5 has all the hints because these places are fake.
Yeah, this
is actual real Tokyo. So they went to the real world this time.
From what I understand, they did a great job at that too.
Yeah,
actually like recreating
Shibuya and all that.
Certain areas of Tokyo.
Well, was there anything more you wanted from this game? We'll end it on that. Like, was there anything more, or what you want to see in 6? What do you want to see in 6?
Like I said before, I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't bad at all. It's not like I didn't enjoy it. I did. I do wish they would have had a little more closure to it instead of just being them driving you back home. And you kind of just
I thought it was really beautiful.
Chilling. It was nice. It looked good.
I thought it was beautiful.
I didn't mind it, but...
Because that might not seem a lot, but
I just wanted it to be
feeling.
more of like a period, kind of like this game's over.
Because I thought, I was just going to go home by myself, say goodbye to everybody, and it's a down moment. But it ended up picking me up and was like, you know what, dude? We're just going to give you a ride.
And the fact that Morgana is skilled enough as a cat
to fix the damn...
a van is amazing.
Oh, that's another thing. Morgana actually wants to become human in this game.
Oh yeah, we didn't
that's
even
what
talk about that.
we think, but Morgana
gets created to find you.
Yes, by the original Igor.
And the fact that you even get found by Morgana is pure luck because Morgana doesn't find you, you find her.
Yes.
Or find him.
Yeah.
And
it's voiced by a female, that's why it says that.
Well, its name's Morgana.
I thought it was a chick too until they said
Morgana's a girl's name. I wouldn't think of a guy being Morgana.
But it ends up becoming, a real cat in the real world. You think he, sacrifices himself and he's dead because when you finish the game, you give up your powers. It's done.
Yep.
The metaverse is gone per se. But I bet it comes back somehow.
Oh, for sure. I don't think it's ever truly gone.
Yeah,
it's still there.
But you help redeem society in this guy's
just
eyes.
Up until a new archangel comes along and decides to play with Igor
dickhead demon monster.
Because that's almost what it seems like it does, or like what all these games might be.
Yeah, there's always
it's a game between two entities that want to see you fail, or at least one wants to see you fail. Because one's trying to take over the world.
I want you to play 3 and 4, and I want to really see you. We will have a cast on it because I want to talk about those ones because they're really, really good. But let's end it here per se. Like, there's nothing else you really wanted to see, just a better ending.
As far as the Persona goes as itself, I really don't have any complaints about the game. Yeah. You literally have to sit there for hours and hours and try and think of something bad to say about this thing.
There's nothing I really disliked about this game.
There's really nothing.
I would like to see your characters be a little, like, if you romance in the group, I would like to see that acknowledged a little bit more.
To actually see the romance, because
those moments
react to that.
Yeah, others they know and they talk about it. That'd be cool. That'd be interesting.
I kind of like how they keep it more intimate.
Yeah, because it is an intimate moment.
Well, but it also it kind of deals with the theme of the story too.
Yeah.
And how you're a thief. You stay behind
steal
closed
some
doors,
hearts. You steal, you definitely steal those hearts.
You steal some hearts.
But in Persona 6, I would like to see maybe a more adult route, like Catherine. Like you're actually an adult, or maybe you're a college student and you're in this shitty job. Very much like how I was in real life. And you want to break, you want to get away from that, and then you discover some newer power to do said thing. I would like that.
The theme would be awesome.
That's what we've talked about. My buddy Mitch and I talked about.
I don't think you get it though.
I don't think so because
it's the game's made for younger people.
Well, it's an M-rated game, but you're right. They drop a lot of F-bombs in the game actually.
But still, the only reason why it's M-rated is because our country isn't the greatest.
Yeah, well, there's
obviously this is out in Japan. It came out like 2 years or a year and a half ago.
No,
they had it way longer before we did.
Well, they had it a year, but it was I would say like 6 months.
That's a long time, bro.
It came out in September. It came out in April.
That's a long time.
But anyway, That's all I was meaning. This game's really adult. There's a lot of adult themes. It's not really a kiddie game. I would never consider this a kiddie game. But I would like
young
to...
adults. My bad.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Kids. You know, college kids, stuff like that. The thing about this, though, I like... the reason why it's always, high schoolers, the reason being is that's the most prominent time in a Japanese kid's life. That's why you see it in anime, because when they go to college, it's a job for them. It's high school for them is college.
They do a really good job at
portraying that.
Yeah.
Studying.
Making you, just giving you a glimpse of what these kids go through.
But I would I wouldn't mind if they did do more of an adult theme like Catherine, which maybe make a Catherine 2, maybe, or call it Sally.
Make a Catherine game, but make it more like Persona.
Call it Sally. Just call it Sally. Something like that.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Just do I would like to see a more adult, but there's no gripes with this game. This game was perfect for me.
No,
it was better.
No complaints.
Than Gold, which I thought Golden was, but they obviously know. They know where to take it. It's so well done. Go play it. Chad, rating scale 1 to 10. What would you give it? Just be honest. Just be honest.
For me, it's like an 8.8.
8?
8.8.
Oh, 8.8?
Yeah, it's close to a 9. It's almost at that stage to where there's nothing you can do to make this game better or worse.
Yeah. For me, it's a 9.5. This game's incredible. It's 0.5 away from being a 10. I almost want to give it a 10 out of sheer biasness. But
but it's a
9.5.
If it was a little more mature...
Yeah. I don't know, man. They talk about suicide.
No,
they talk
but
about a lot of shit.
like the actual situations, gameplay, were more mature, and maybe because I don't think the act or turn based takes away from the game at all.
No, I love turn based,
but at the same time,
this game proves that turn based deserves to be.
Oh no, it still deserves to be around. At the same time, I wouldn't mind seeing this game be a little more live.
And they kind of did it.
Especially because in this one, because it seemed like you're a thief. You're not.
They let you move around.
They did a good job.
Yeah, they let you move around a lot.
They did a great job at making you run around, hiding. But to drive that home, if you had a little more mobility and a little more say instead of just the hide and sneak up on things. It's there's a few things that they could change to make it a little bit better. But
they definitely overall
the game's great.
They definitely open it up from the previous ones for sure. The movement.
It's the best game I've played since Kingdom Hearts 2.
But definitely go enjoy it. Thank you so much again, Chad, for joining me.
Appreciate being here.
Spoilercast went on a little long.
Hold on before you turn it off.
Yeah.
Please leave your comments and anything else you need to say to us in the comment section. Leave anything. If you want Levi to review games, any suggestions, put them there. He listens. He tells us. Yeah. So we want to hear your opinions about everything, and whatever you want to see Levi do, put it there. He'll probably do it. Yeah, no, we're on YouTube. You can't do that.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna try to get this. Take Chad's suggestion. Put on SoundCloud, iTunes, Twitch. Right now it'll be on YouTube for now. I'll get this up. Thank you so much, guys. GG Nation, GG Legion.
We still haven't figured out what we're going to call you yet.
Yeah, I don't like...
I'm leaning towards the Nation, but...
Yeah, it'd be cool either way.
We want you to decide. Leave comments.
Leave the comment.